Oh, hi, how you doing? Come on in, come on in. Hello, hello, hi, my name is Cinnamon Black. I want to welcome you here to the Voodoo Museum here in New Orleans. Whew, it is so hot here. Oh, yeah, I know you've heard about the heat wave they have. But, let me tell you who I am since you're here, and I'm glad you're here. I've been dying, waiting for you to come. And it's definitely going to be a greedy thing. It's not about dolls, not about reading, but this time it's about singing. I want to talk about voodoo dolls, making greedy bags. Come on, let's go. Sometimes things in life just don't let you go. They kind of hold on to you. But I want to say much. There's a lot of things that motivate me, and I know sometimes it takes things to motivate you. It might be somebody dying that'll motivate you to get up and say, "Hey, I need to get up and do something about this." Or you're about to lose your house, or you're about to lose your car, or your child just ain't listening, or something like that. But what motivates me is love. Because love is what makes the world go round. Love heals. It don't pay, it doesn't really like directly pay the bills, but when you get somebody who loves you enough to help you, they'll help you pay the bills. Sometimes I go to people's houses and they're not home. And I'll go inside the car and get some chalk and I'll leave them a love note on the ground. A little something, something to make them like, who did that? You know, it's really good to catch people at surprise and make them feel where you're coming from and show them some love. A lot of times people do things and they just don't understand what they're doing and they don't even much know what they're doing. I see these teenagers, they sit on the ground, they drinking alcohol and stuff. And I know you've seen them too. They take a drink for themselves and you take a drink for their homies. They practice in voodoo. Did you know that? Did you know that when you got a kid in the house and they're playing, they jumping on the bed and they're making noise and you're on the phone and you're trying to take a message and you're like, wait, hold on. Come on, Carol, be quiet, stop all that noise, I'm on the telephone. You go back to your phone call and you're talking and stuff and you hear this, in the background. You say, stop it, I'm trying to make a phone call. You're going to bust your head, won't you be quiet? You go back to your phone call and you're talking. Next thing you know, the kid coming in the house and they done bust their head. You done practice voodoo. It's what you said. It's what you say. I believe that voodoo is a state of mind. It's like something like they say hoodoo, voodoo, as I was saying earlier. Voodoo it's how you live. It's who you do it to. And who's going to do it to you? Because what goes around comes around. It's the spirituality of the people that live in that part of the world. Because everybody, like I said, everybody practices voodoo. They don't even much know it. It's all in plain sight. It's right there, right before you. There was many events that happened that brought me into the situation that I found myself in today. And I know a lot of times you say, you go through a whole lot, and all of a sudden you catch yourself, you say, oh Lord, how did I get here? And that's the same thing I ask myself, and I always get that answer, and and I think about it. And I remember when I was younger, and I first got interested in men. And you want to kiss and make love and have babies and get married and just live happily ever after. Well, actually for me, I did live happily ever after. Every time I had a baby, 6 months later, the man died. The first one, he got killed by a car. I says, all right, let me try this again. Then I had another kid. Then he got shot in the head on the same street of his name. I'm like, God, that's a coincidence. How could somebody named Dawson die on Dawson Street in New Orleans, in Kendall, Louisiana? Check it out, there's a street really that name. And then, after that, I tried it again. And exactly on the 6th month, right after he died, I'm like, oh Lord, I'm a black widow spider. Something must be kind of hoodoo about me. Voodoo. No, that is really a true story. That is a true story of my life. So since then, a lot of people been, they wanted to call me voodoo priestess, but I call myself a spiritualist because I started to study spirituality a long time ago. My grandfather, He worked at the church as a deacon, and then we went to the Baptist church, and then my grandmother had me going to the Catholic church, and so I had to study the Catholic religion, then I had to study the Baptist religion, then I had to study the Presbyterian religion, then I got around my African friends, and then I had to learn that religion, then I had Brazilian dance class that I went to, then I had to learn that religion, and before you know it, I was learning, it was like I was going to school for different religions. So I call myself a spiritualist, because spiritually, I believe everything has its place and time. You know, in every part of life, as I told you before, and even in Voodoo, there's many different things that people are looking for. They come to you for love. They come for you for success, for money. They always want to have that secret formula, that secret potion, how to get where you got to get without going where you got to go. I remember as I was coming up, there was this young girl, she wanted to get a husband. And I said, you sure you want him, huh? You got to be careful what you ask for. Because sometimes we ask for things and we don't really want them. And we get them and they don't go away. So I gave her this old grandmother, this potion that my grandmother had. And I told her to use it right before they would have sexual intercourse, you know. And this would drive him crazy. By the way, they married today and they got 2 children. Chooses you. I remember someone asking me for a drawing outside their house because they wanted to have this man think they had a secret admirer. So once every 3 or 4 days, about 2 o'clock in the morning, I go by their house and I'll draw them a love potion. I'll show you one before you go, okay? Be careful. You might fall in love. That really was a true story. And I didn't want to tell you the story because, you know, actually, no, really, I named my dog after her. And I didn't want to tell that, but she had this man she had met, and she wanted him to marry her. So what she did was she came over to me and asked me, she said, I know you got that stuff, I know you got that stuff, then, you know, why don't you give it to me? And I was kind of like scared to give it to her because I didn't want to know what I had made it out of and stuff like that, but it was safe for her to use. So I gave it to her, and it worked. And she got the man. You know what I'm saying? It works. So if if you want to know any more stories, or if you want somebody, just ask for them. They come, but they might not do what you want them to do, but they come. Like people, they come out and they look for me. I don't have to go out and look for them. That's one of the things you might ask. As a matter of fact, there was this one movie that came out because they wanted me to fix their doll for their it was the biggest darn doll I have ever seen, I'm telling you. But I would have to say what I do is it's a spiritual thing. I do uncrossings. I try to bring people together. I try to bring communities together. I try to do things that's for the good of our communities. And I think we all try to do that. That's what I do. You know what it means though, right? An uncrossing. Yeah, an uncrossing. A crossing is when somebody's got a curse on them and they don't want it on them no more. Like they got a plague or something just keep happening to them. They're like, damn, every time this dude go out, he get in a car accident. And so you give them a statue or something to put inside the car, and that way it'll probably stop him from getting a cursing. But then they have things that happen, and there's nothing that you could do about them but pray. And prayers work. I'm telling you. Every time I pray about something, I get it. But then sometimes, let me give you an example. There was this thing called the Madden curse. You ever played that game, Madden thing? The kids be playing football and stuff, one game against the other one. Well, every time they put a picture of a player on the cover of that game, something happened to him. Right in the middle of the season, he's got to be hauled off the court on the stretcher, howling and screaming, oh, my leg, oh, my arm, oh, my leg. So there was this film crew that came to me once before, and it was called the Madden curse. And this time, here in New Orleans, we had Drew Brees that was going to be put on top of the thing. Now, I have to get on it then. There was no way nobody from the city of New Orleans was going to get hurt, and I had something to do with it. So what we did was, I got a couple of prayers together, put some other things together, And we made sure that Drew Brees was not driven off the football field on a bed by no doctors, not even, not here in New Orleans. That's what you call cursing. You know, there's a lot of misconceptions they have about voodoo. People think they come in here and we take a pen and we stick it in a doll and something happens to them, you know, just like this. Let's see if something's gonna happen. Nah, ain't nothing happened to him. Because nothing really happened to him. Really, the pen was actually designed way back because they didn't have a sewing. They feel like that you're running through the woods with at nighttime. They feel like you're sticking a pen and you're in a dark, in a room with a candle, half naked, you know, making these hieroglyphic sounds and having a snake over your head and you're out your mind and stuff. But that's not how voodoo is. And I mean, that's not how I am, and that's not how it really is. That's television. That's television is going to give you the uber looga and the nooga nooga and doing all this kind of stuff and all that. I don't walk around like that. You know, it's all about getting what you want. You know, a lot of people come to me because they want to try to get a boyfriend, or they want to get a job, or they say, you know, I need some help with trying to get a new house, or I'm trying to get some money, I need bills paid, or they feel like somebody just keep following me and I can't get rid of him. It's either a do or a undo. And basically, it's, you know, I don't do voodoo. I mean, I guess you say I do voodoo, but I don't do what they call the uber goober type thing. It's more like a spirituality person is somebody that's used to petition, to take a request and help get that request to where it's got to be, to make sure that it's like a contract. It's like you write it down, you say what you want, we have a ceremony, and you know, ceremony. I mean, that's something I gotta talk to you about though. I gotta tell you, like, you don't think you do voodoo? Don't you light candles at a birthday party? Yep, you do. Don't you light candles when there's a wedding? Yep, they got two big old candles sitting up there all fired up and stuff. They have a contract too. They sign a piece of paper, and at that birthday party, you do bring a birthday card, and everybody gives a gift. At a voodoo ceremony, we light the candles. Put a drawing on the ground, contract, and we have gifts. You might give some rice to the Lord. You might see a cake right there. Or even when you go to the cemetery, don't you bring flowers, you bring gifts. That's right. And we have some music too. And people dance. They dance at the wedding. They dance at the party. And there's even fire, you know, we can take it a little bit deeper than that. When you go to Olympics, what's the first thing you see running down the street? Little man with a fire. So ceremonies, contracts, dancing, eating food, you're practicing voodoo. That's right. Think about it. It feels good. I mean, when you're dancing, you feel real good. It allows you to release stress, pressure. It takes you to another entity. And I think we all enjoy that when we do it. So it's part of the ceremony of voodoo when you dance. It's somewhat, how would you say, it's how we invoke the spirits. A lot of times we're dancing and we're thinking about the one we with. But when you're dancing in the spirit, you're thinking about the one who you would like to be with. When you're in a church, they're dancing to the spirit. They're taking it and getting up there and they, oh yeah, you know. But when you're dancing out in the streets, and it's a funeral here in New Orleans, you got like a sway feeling, but you feel the spirit inside your soul. You know, personally, I like to dance all the time, whenever I could. I'm going to be getting in the move and I'm going to be doing it. And I always like to dance because dancing makes me feel good. But I know you didn't come here to hear much about that. You came to find out exactly what's happening with me here in New Orleans. But before you go, I really want to thank you I've had a great time talking to you today. I hope you got some insight about what it can be like to come here into my store. Basically, all I can think about that is I got a family like everybody else. They think I'm great. Some of them think I'm crazy. I think some of them crazy too, and I know you got some people in your family you think is crazy too. I've been doing this for a while. I got kids, people living. Actually, my family is you. There's my family right there. Come and see me. I got some voodoo to go through. Before I go out, I thought I would come back and not disappear and come and tell you what I do for fun, because fun is always it's always good to leave people with a good feeling. And I kind of like have something really special about St. Anne. I like to practice here in the city of New Orleans. When I'm not doing this, I'm performing as a baby doll. And as you know, if you don't know the story, well, the baby dolls, they're part of the Mardi Gras that's here in the city of New Orleans. They come out on Mardi Gras morning and several times during the year, St. Joseph Days, the Day of the Dead, Super Sunday here in the city of New Orleans. And it's really a spiritual thing if you don't know about it. You may have seen us, but we come out on that day, which about 8 o'clock, after the North Star Bones and Skeletons. Now, the North Star and Bones and Skeletons, they have a little bit to do with us because they represent St. Expedite. St. Expedite sits at the gateway of the cemetery. He comes alive at about 4 o'clock in the morning in Congo Square here in the city of New Orleans, where they practice a ritual and they pray for the beginning of Mardi Gras. That's right, Mardi Gras. Mardi Gras got something to do with voodoo. You didn't know that? Yes, it does. They go in the home, they knock on the door, and they have these big old bones with dripping meat and blood, and nasty stuff coming off it. Ugh. But they have these signs that say, stay in school, say no to drugs, or death will surely come. This is what's going to happen to you. You're going to become dead. That's what they're telling you. And they knock on the door and the trimmer and the parents let them in. And they go in the kids' bedrooms and they stand over them and they scare the hell out of them. Now after they come along, then come out the baby dolls. Now the baby dolls are ladies who are dressed in pretty savvy dresses, and they have these pacifiers in their mouth, and they have baby bottles with some liquid in it. They're women who have their own door keys, their own business, and their own jobs, and they're entrepreneurs. It's the day they let their hair down. They're dressed in baby dolls with satin stockings and lace everywhere and parasol umbrellas. But they represent St. Anne, the birth of Mardi Gras, the beginning, the sexuality. After they come out, then comes the Indians. Now the Indians used to represent, in Africa, the territories. But here in New Orleans, they represent the wards. That's right. And then Mardi Gras begins, and we all get drunk and make babies. So that's some of the things that I do when I'm not doing this. But anytime you need some love, or you need some uncrossing done, come on down to New Orleans. Enjoy our heat, and let me do something for you. So, how was that? Was that what you wanted? I mean, if you were flicking through the channels, would you stop and look at this? Yeah? Yeah? All right then. I'll see you then. Bye. Let me go ahead and make a doll on that one. Bye. See you next time.
I believe in voodoo? Do they believe in voodoo? Does anybody believe in voodoo? So did Marie Laveau believe in voodoo? There's Marie Laveau's portrait on the wall. Please. And that's a voodoo priestess right there. On your way. Now, I know what y'all get voodoo, so we're not going to hang here. You're going to have to learn to come back and stop later on.
Seven witnesses, thank you. You stand outside the museum. You stand outside the building. You stand outside the drawing. A drawing is simply a contract. It's just like you have a drawing in school. You know how you draw a picture in school? You draw a picture in your house. I drew a picture of my love for the city of New Orleans. That's what this is saying. This is representing New Orleans and the entity. The serpent on the outside is the spirituality, the spirit of New Orleans. It is the music, it is the food, it is the sounds that you hear as you walk through the park. Enjoy your visit as you are here today. Take back to your home what you find. Please take back the heat because it's too hot. Leave your joy and your laughter. Leave your love. And may you share in the love of each other's company because tomorrow is not ever promised. Love the one that you're with, and we love that you're here. Thank you for visiting our city.
Thank you.
Come back again tomorrow. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bonjour, Leah.